All right, let's get some more on this now with LeeAnne Walters. She's a mother who helped expose this crisis in Flint after her children developed health problems following exposure to the water in Flint. LeeAnne, thanks so much for joining us. You spent a long time trying to persuade the authorities that there was a problem with the water. Your children developed health problems. What went through your mind when you finally knew and finally had it confirmed that your children had suffered lead poisoning?
Well, one of my children has lead poisoning, the one with the compromised immune system, and the other ones have been exposed. I couldn't believe this was happening. I couldn't comprehend how, in this day and age, my family was exposed to and a member of our family poisoned by lead.
It is staggering to think that in 2016 in the US that water can be contaminated like that. What do you think was the failure here? We've heard that the city did this to cut costs. It diverted the water from Detroit to save money. Is it just saving money that was at the heart of this?
I believe so, yes. They were trying to save money so they could put in the new pipeline, and they didn't think they were going to get caught.
Just without dwelling too much on the problems that your children have, can I ask you, what is the outlook for them in terms of the problems they have?
Well, the one with the compromised immune system, I was told by the state that it would just be a few IQ points. It's not the end of the world.
That's horrifying, though, to hear that as a mother.
Yes, very much so. I don't know how any human being could say that to another human being. He's still suffering with the anemia. He developed speech issues. But when it comes to lead, you know, you can show symptoms of different things and diagnosis of different things up to 10 years after the exposure. So with his compromised immune system, there haven't been enough studies to know what we're in store for. We were told it's a wait, watch, and see.
LeeAnne, for people watching this outside the United States, this all takes place against that backdrop of the bankruptcy of Detroit and the fallout. Do you see that as part of a sort of degradation of public services in the wake of that financial crisis?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you could look at it that way, yeah.
And we heard in that last report just before we came to you that some people in Flint believe this wouldn't have happened in a more affluent area. Do you get that sense too?
I've been asked that question before, and I don't know what the right answer to that is. To me, if we didn't have the emergency manager in place, I think the answer would be no. But since he is, then I have to agree to it to some extent. The problem is, it depends on the aspect of it, because lead doesn't see any barriers. It doesn't pick rich or poor or any color. It doesn't see that.
Flint isn't the first city that's ever had this kind of problem. We hear about these things around the world.
No,
is there anything
that happened up in Washington, D.C. for years?
Indeed, I was just saying absolutely that other cities around the world have had these problems too. Is there anything that other cities can learn from what happened in Flint?
Be involved, know what the laws are, know what the protocols are, and make sure they're being followed. That was one of the things that, you know, I discovered as I was researching on this. One, the state was testing with 3 loopholes to minimize lead, because the law that exists for lead and copper right now is already flawed. And if something doesn't feel right to you, trust that, because we were told for a very long time that it was. And after discovering that there was no corrosion control in place, we realized that, you know, we were lied to.
We've had an apology from the governor. The Environmental Protection Agency, which is the highest authority in the US on this, has also said it didn't do enough. Is that enough for you, an apology? What needs to happen now?
No, it's not. My family is forever changed because of what's happened to us and what our family is going through with the health issues and the emotional issues, as is the other families in Flint that are suffering through that as well.
LeeAnne, we're grateful for your time. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us. LeeAnne Walters in Flint.